Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here on another Monday night here to talk about another wild week of Big Brother Canada 9, the little show that kept on going week after week, delivering more and more excitement to you, the Big Brother fan. And here I am, Rob Cesternino here, back together with, guess what? Jerped is back together, the 4. It will be the final 4. Cannot be destroyed. Jerped is back together. Very excited here to do it again here. First, let me welcome in man who has been working overtime with these live feeds. Taran, how are you?
I'm very excited, to see the Sunsetters throwing each other under the bus. I hope that never happens to us, and the announcer will never have to say,
"How many Sunsetters can fit under a bus?"
Except replace Sunsetters with Jerpters.
Yeah, I will not.
How many
Jerpters.
Sunsetters can fit under a bus?
As long as we don't have to compare each other to chess pieces, I think we'll be okay.
Who's the king, Rob? Is that you?
I think that sounds about right. I move maybe one space at a time,
Is Taran the queen?
I'm going to go hide behind the other pieces. People are coming to get me.
Making the most moves.
Yeah,
maybe?
I'm all over the place.
Covering everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he's covering every day. So he's moving a lot.
Yeah.
And Pooya's the bishop, maybe?
Yeah, I just go sideways. That's all I really do.
That's not the bishop.
Diagonal!
Okay, so Pooya is the knight. He doesn't understand where he's going.
I'm just taking L's as the knight. I'm moving in L's. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Jenny, what are you?
I'm useless. I'm a pawn, I guess.
How dare you? How dare you? All right. Well, let's welcome in the rest of the panel. Of course, very excited to be back here on a Monday night. The Peapod squad is here. Pooya Zand Vakili. Pooya, how are you?
Very good. Listen, they say, and there's an old adage, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed clown is king. But in a house full of blind people, who is king? Who is queen? I don't even know. I don't know what's going on in this house. And this is a fascinating time to be a podcaster. I mentioned this to Taran on Friday. I genuinely feel like I'm in the dark and I'm watching everything and I'm keeping up with everything. So it's a fascinating time to be a Big Brother fan. I'll tell you that much.
Wild.
Yeah.
And of course, very excited to have back with us tonight, Jenny Autumn. Jenny, what are you at?
Well, I am at Ontario, home of the Big Brother house, and we are currently in our 3rd lockdown of the pandemic. So you might think no circuses happening this time of year in a lockdown, but there is a circus happening inside of the Big Brother Canada house, full of clowns, all sorts of hijinks going on. So it did not get shut down. It's real and happening.
No. Yeah. Thank goodness. Okay. Speaking of, what are you at? Is that a real expression or is that a
it's like an
exclusive?
East Coast. It's like an East Coast thing for sure. It's not it's not an Ontario thing. It's exclusively Maritimers.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Is Tina really trying to mainstream that?
I mean, you just have to get a catchphrase, and that's not a Tina exclusive, but it's it's a Tina exclusive in the Big Brother Canada house, so that becomes her thing, and so it'll be on T-shirts along with Big Brother. So I mean that works. Branding, take it, run with it.
All right, we're here live on a Monday night. We'll take some questions later on, and then we'll get into the latest from the wacky live feeds of Big Brother Canada. That's what are we at this hour, and so a lot to talk about. Taran, I'm glad you mentioned the pre-show narration from Mr. Announcer Man, because he really gave us like it was almost like Kiefer was the announcer, because there was so much Kiefer hype going on.
Oh man, he was having, I don't know about you, Rob, but I basically clipped the entire thing because he was having so much fun.
Yeah, no, it was wild.
Great week for him.
Yeah, incredible. That there was just so much stuff. It was basically like the story of really maybe not since the story of Easter have we had the fall and resurrection of a hero.
Yes, a new character. We've all heard of the Easter Bunny, obviously. We've all heard of the Muffin Man. But have we heard of the Mullet Man?
The Mullet Man. Do you know the Mullet Man?
I don't know, Rob, but
The Mullet Man stepped out of the grave.
So dramatic.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. I think
stepped out of the grave.
Is he talking about the Undertaker? Like, is this a wrestling thing?
no, WrestleMania was last weekend. No,
Yeah.
no. Kiefer is just basically Canada's greatest hero.
Yeah. And you know, the announcer calls him the Grim Kiefer, but then they follow it up with Kiefer messing up his own line and calling himself the Grim Reaper.
He calls himself the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What are you doing,
also he says the Grim Reaper wrote. Or
No, I don't think he calls him the Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper
sorry.
is
It's a different
different.
person.
It's very different.
Listen,
Yeah,
that
that's
happens
different.
up here every once in a while. The Grim Kiefer rose from the dead, which I'm like, that doesn't even, isn't the Grim Reaper the one taking you? Like, why is
Yeah,
the
he
Grim
takes
Reaper
you to the
in-
grave. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with these analogies here, but
Mhm.
he's
It
really going for it.
It was all one big setup for the Reign of Terror. So there you go. That's the main headline for me. Which, Taran, if you don't co-opt that in some way to make it your own thing now, like, missed opportunity.
The reign of Taran.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Reign of Terror officially began.
Yeah, he just said Taran.
The
You
whole
heard it, right?
BB Canada season is the reign of Taran. So
Yeah. All right. Well, we then also got Kiefer post-eviction comparing himself to the Goliath or the Dave. He's with the Davids in David versus Goliath. Pooya.
Yeah, so he said he likened himself to a Goliath, right? Is that what he said? That he's the biggest Goliath there?
I thought he said he was the leader of the Davids. He was the David going up against
Yes.
Goliath.
He's a
Okay,
David.
so he's the David. But then you can't be upping yourself like that as like the god of the game if you see yourself as a David. Like that is a mistake.
well, he's
on
got
his part.
the Goliath inside of him.
I mean,
Just-
David wins in the end, no?
I don't know.
I
You have
guess
to have
so.
some confidence.
Kiefer's got to pick one metaphor and stick with
Yeah,
it.
ride one.
I actually
pick
think
one.
Nick Wilson won. It
Mhm.
wasn't. That was what actually happened there.
So yeah, that's it. That's it, Kiefer.
That was
Pick
good,
one.
Wendy. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
Thanks.
Tara is the new HOH, and here she goes, and we see Kiefer, who Jenny, am I crazy, or has Kiefer done like a pretty good job of at least playing the middle here now that he got saved? That he goes back to the fore and says he's with them, but then also jumps up and down in the storage room with Tara and Brayden.
Oh yeah, he's. I mean, the layout of this house right now is for only 6 people. It's very interesting. And Kiefer is still getting information, as we'll see throughout this episode, from the sunsetters, which I don't even know why we would even use that term at any point, but anymore. But yeah, he we got to see that he did the right thing in having this conversation with Tara before she became HOH and saying like, Bray and I have you. So he did a good job of getting something going with Tara and Brayden before HOH even happened. But he still has this relationship with the sauce that saved him last week. So he really does have this middle spot, but it seems like he's chosen his spot for now. Well, obviously because Tara has power.
Yeah. Taran, that I have to ask with these edited shows, did Kiefer come out of this okay from last week?
He did, yeah. And Kiefer understands the power of the behind closed doors cellies. That he got his celly in. Kiefer has now had behind closed door cellies with everyone remaining in the house.
What is the celly?
It's a celebration.
That is when they go.
Ah.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. And so that is to Kiefer a sign of intense loyalty, and that you would never behind the door Sally unless you were truly with someone. So he's with them, and he has done a good job of maintaining loyalties on both sides here, and is a crucial part of sinking Beth's game this week. Beth leaving is great for Kiefer, so he is doing a very good job here.
We're gonna see then Kiefer. I'm sorry. Then we go to the other side reaction. Pooya, the throuple not feeling like this was a great outcome of Tara winning the HOH.
Yeah, the sauce really getting lost in the sauce on this one. And you can't blame them. Everything has went right for them up until this one HOH, right? So I would also be holding myself a big pity party, especially if the person who we had on the block initially and we wanted to leave doesn't end up leaving. So it's kind of like their worst case scenario, but also it's the sauce. So they will always find a way to convince themselves that they can find a way out of these situations. So it's a little bit of pity party, but not for too long.
Yeah, Jenny, of the people that were in the throuple, they really present this episode as Ty is the only one that can see the writing on the wall. That he leaves this conversation telling us at home, like, oh, what are these two thinking?
Well, there were really like levels of like awareness and delusion happening, and we really only see Ty saying like, "There's no way we don't have two of us going up on the block."
Impossible.
We have Jed, who is a little bit more reasonable, saying like, our best bet here is one of us goes on the block against like a Bray or Kiefer. And then we have Beth going full delusion in that we can all three of us avoid the block. So Ty definitely gets represented here as like having the most awareness of there's no way Tara is not putting two of us up on the block.
Yeah, Ty very much the voice of reason. Zero chance that Tara would ever put Braden up on the block.
Yeah.
Never.
But we're gonna see a big push for that here in this episode. The crazy idea that won't ever happen. So we see then the throuple talking in the kitchen, and I don't know, but yeah, are they just like talking themselves out of that this is not that big of a deal, and how this is going to all backfire on Tara?
This is what the sauce does. They literally, any chance they get, they talk about every scenario, whether big or small, good or bad, and they convince themselves that a bad situation is good, that a good situation is bad, then a bad situation is good again, and they talk in circles. And they kind of do have this energy of everything's gone right. They have no regard for what's going on around them. So yes, they're having this big conversation where now they're completely good and they're talking mad smack wide out in the open. And I'm really happy they gave us this footage because this was phenomenal to watch play out on the episode.
Now, Taran, did we know that Tara had overheard the throuple while they were in the kitchen?
Yes, she has talked about it. Yes.
Okay. So she's not happy overhearing this. She doesn't think it's so funny.
No, it's not funny. It's not a huge surprise to her though. It's nothing new.
She's gonna get the last laugh. It's fine.
Yeah.
And this is a comedy. The show is like, I'm sorry, it's not a reality show. This is a comedy.
All right. Tara's gonna get her HOH room. She gets a new nickname. Jenny, what do you think of Tiger Tara?
I mean, an interesting choice because I'm pretty sure she was wearing like leopard print leggings throughout this episode. But sure, I don't know. She's always getting these like animal comparisons. Like in her preseason, she says that she's a tiny bull. She's got the leopard leggings. She's now a lion. I don't know. She's straight out of the zoo, I guess. She's a part of the less than zoo crew.
Oh my god! There's your deep cut of the episode. Big missed opportunity to just not go with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like that's right there, and that's a better one to pick in my opinion. But
yeah. Taran, what do you make of Dad just dropping a new nickname on national television?
It's a risky play. It's a risky play. You don't usually want to debut things on TV, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe Dad felt like that was really going to land, Tiger Tara, but it did not. All right. Beth is working on her main concern that she's like talking herself up, Pooya, that she's gotta make this big move today. She's like starts the day with a daily affirmation of today is the day, Beth, you'll make a big move.
Yeah, every day is a big move kind of day for Beth. And if you are Beth, you are always doing it right. You are the queen of your own narrative, and you have control over everything. You can turn the worst of situations into the best. It don't matter. You're Beth. You can do this.
Yeah. Jenny, should most of us try to go through life like a Beth? Like, would that basically positive self-talk, or is it too much of that in the Big Brother 7 or Big Brother Canada 9 house?
Here's the thing. I actually think that this isn't a terrible thing to do. But I do think that there's like a difference between how Kiefer does it when he's like having his hype up sessions and like the way that Beth does her self-talk, because I think that there's like, you can be kind of talking in a way it's like you're manifesting. You're like, this is what I want to happen, and if I say it, I'm manifesting it into reality. And if I feel this way about myself, then like this can actually like happen. And I think that leans a little bit more in the direction of Kiefer when he's like, let's go, because you can tell that he also is sometimes very, very down on himself. So this is like a tactic. And this is like a real thing in like, like building self-confidence of like daily affirmations, like writing them down or like saying something into the mirror to yourself. But with Beth, it's not like it doesn't come off as like daily affirmations to me. It's just comes off as like a monologue about everything that she's done and how good she is at the game, and not so much, it doesn't come off as manifesty to me. It seems just like her talking to the cameras about like how she's killing it, and so everything's her move.
Yeah, the way I see the difference between Beth and Kiefer's talks is that Kiefer, he builds himself up. And when I see Beth, I see her often tearing others down. Kiefer's taught like, I'm doing this hard work, and he often builds other people up too. Like, these are the greatest players, but I'm gonna win. I'm gonna take them down. Beth is like, these idiots.
Yes,
I'm tricking them all. I've got this. They're dumb.
Yeah. Taran, this is interesting because I've noticed that this Wednesday night on the Survivor Countdown, Pooya and I and Mel Hulster are going to be talking about the 25th best season of Survivor of all time, Survivor Samoa. And one of the things I've noticed is that Russell Hantz, in all of his confessionals, not only does he talk up like, I'm making moves, they're the greatest moves of all time, but he also combines that with not only is he the best, everybody else is the dumbest, stupidest players that are the worst Survivor players of all time, which like, I feel like, well, how are you the best if the people that you're playing against are the worst and the biggest, dumbest idiots?
So is Beth the Russell Hantz of BB Can 9?
Jenny, it's Bethel Hantz. It's Bethel Hantz. There you go. Marketing completed.
This is my move, not Jed's.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way to the end, and I'm gonna get all the votes. These are my moves. Okay. All right. So we see Beth finally go to talk to Tara and says, all right, here's what we need to do. I got your back. You got mine. Look, I don't care what you do with the guys. But we got to take a shot here this week, Tara, me and you. Let's do this. Yeah.
We've got to make this happen. And it's the time. It's the time. The time has come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I hated about this is that like Beth does a terrible job, in my opinion, as selling that she's in on this by being totally like, whatever you want to do, like one of them has to go, because I think it's a lot more believable, especially if she's selling this narrative of like, I can't be sitting next to Jed at the end. I didn't come here for a boyfriend and I don't want to be the one that takes him out. This is perfect for me. If she actually just says like, you know, and kind of like fills the blanks a little bit more for Tara instead of just being like, I don't know whatever you want to do. I'm definitely fine with either of those options. Like, I think it's a little bit more believable if she's just like, listen, I can't be sitting next to Jed at the end, and just say that. But I think just because she's seeming kind of like ambivalent about it, it's like, okay, well, you're basically just giving me lip service and saying like, I'm cool with whatever.
Well,
It doesn't seem to show that she actually wants this to happen.
yeah, this is something that I feel like I've seen Beth try and do time and time again during the season. She's done it in a room with Kyle there, and Kyle was like, Vic, don't fall for this. She's very much confident that she can inception people, and she doesn't have that kind of capability. So she thinks by saying a little, she's planted that seed, but there are no seeds to plant. This garden's barren. Like, it's not working. It is not working at all.
And it is worth noting that Beth comes into this conversation. Tara right away says, I'm not putting you on the block. I'm not touching you at all this week. You are safe. I do not want you to go. And that's in part because of the work that Beth has been putting in with Tara for weeks now, convincing her that she's willing to turn on Jed and that they need each other in the game. And so even though Beth makes a small attempt here and it doesn't go through, she's still in a fine place. It's all the stuff she does outside of this conversation that Kiefer is going to rat her out about that really sinks her.
All right. Well, here comes Kiefer. He's going to talk to Tara. And Jenny, Kiefer, he does a good job of, then he's also hyping up Tara. Like, oh my God. Is that when he's like, is that Tara from Big Brother Canada 9?
One HOH, one veto.
So coming on strong. This is part of the best trio ever.
Yeah, this is something I enjoy about Kiefer, and that we were kind of touching on earlier, that, you know, he does build himself up, but he does it with other people. We saw it with how he talked about Vic, and he's doing it with Tara now. Yeah. And I think this is like, to me, it's a little cringy, because I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes it's when you're over complimenting someone, it's just like, okay, I think you're doing a little too much and you're really trying to butter me up. But also, like, these are people with egos, and, you know, Kiefer has done no shortage of saying in front of other people how well he's doing at the game, and that he's most likely to win, and that he's going to win next week, and he's going to win the week after that, and all of this. So at least he's balancing some of that with also, like, you know, bigging up other people. So, like, I'll give him that. He's spreading a little bit of the love.
Yeah. He's probably a good friend to have. Like, he calls you up like, hey, Rob, what's going on? Greatest dad of all time. You're an amazing podcast. Like, oh, okay, come on, Kiefer. Get out of here. Come on. Yeah, knock it off.
Like, Beth's strategy is, you're screwed if I'm not here. You know that. You have not played well enough. And people don't respect you. Beth negs them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you know what the ratings will be if I leave this house right now? It's negative.
Not the rating.
It's toxic. You don't like that. So I didn't like, though, that Kiefer was like talking about that how Ty needs this trio, because Pooya, that what's Ty gonna do? He's only won one veto. How embarrassing for Ty. He can't win the game. Well, you're muted.
Still muted.
Okay. I am not muted anymore now. That's good. That's good. So yeah, Ty needs it. Ty is seen by Kiefer's like, I'll be his hero. I'll be his Enrique Iglesias. I'll take him where he needs to go. I'll bring him in. We need him, but he needs us because he's got nowhere to run. He's got nothing to do. Which, low key, I don't hate this for Ty, because they're showing you what they need to. In the sauce, he's seen as the third in the sauce. That's a good spot to be. In this position, they're like, we can bring him in. He's someone we can work with. He's not one enough where anyone's immediately going to be looking at him either. So when you calculate all this stuff, this is looking pretty decent for Ty, given that Kiefer is convinced that he can, or he should be saving Ty, and he could convince Ty to move around with him. So it's a good spot to be in.
Yeah. All right. So we get to Kiefer talking to Ty, and he's trying to get him to come on over and defect to the new power trio in the house. And Kiefer is saying, "Look, it comes down to you." He's really trying to sell Ty of coming to the foursome, Taran.
Yeah, and this is Kiefer has been working on this for a while. Really went into overdrive last week when he managed to convince Jed, Ty, and Beth to keep him in the game. And it is something that is definitely based in some truth. I've talked to 3 of the jurors so far. Tina was definitely of the opinion that Ty is significantly less likely to win than Beth or Jed. Not necessarily the case between Ro and Vic, but they may come along to that thinking if that's what Tina's influence is going to do. And so he's really been drilling it into Ty's head. You can't beat them. You can't beat them. And it seems like that has taken root, and that Ty is starting to look at the game a different way, and that he may need to remove some of these players.
Well, he's looking at the chessboard at this point. And
I will
Pooya,
sorry. I was just gonna say the one thing I didn't love about Kiefer's discussion with Ty is like he doesn't need to go back to like the veiled threat area where he was like, well, I'm not touching the block this week, and it's best to not burn any bridges with people who are staying, and I'm gonna win next week. It's like you have enough things that you can say to convince Ty of his position in the game and his how you can be of utility to him without like slightly threatening him that like, don't piss me off or I'll put you on the block next week because I'm definitely winning HOH. Like, Keith, please stop doing this. Please stop.
No,
it's not good.
Can't slow him down.
No.
The Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
So Pooya, let's talk through the chess analogy here from Ty, because this is great. We eat this stuff up. Okay, we love it. He says that, okay, you got Jed is the queen, Beth is the king, Tara is straight shooter, she's the rook. The knight is tricky, the knight is Kiefer, Ty's the bishop, and Brayden is the pawn. Okay, what do you think?
I mean, when you think about the reasons why he said everything, I think it worked, right? Jed's gambit, I could see it potentially. That kind of works there. And then Beth kind of being the king, I like that. That works. Brayden being the pawn at this point in the game, I could kind of see that. I guess ultimately the one I didn't quite understand, he justified it well in the DR. I forget now, was the knight. And that being Kiefer, was it because you don't know what to expect with the knight? Was that it?
It's tricky.
Yeah. So yeah, because you can't predict what the knight will do, and this is where I feel like he has messed up, because Jed is not the queen. He said that Tara was the rook because she's so straightforward. But that's not Tara. Tara's not straightforward. Jed is the rook. Jed is straightforward. He is a guy who. He can only see what's in front of him. He's very effective at what's in front of him, but anything else is completely lost to him. Kiefer is the queen. Kiefer moves everywhere. Kiefer makes moves, is a power player, and is the front runner to win this game right now with the jury. And he moves from one side of the board to the other with ease in any direction he wants. And then really Tara, I guess, would be the knight, in the sense that like she can be a bit unpredictable at times and make good decisions sometimes, or maybe bad decisions at other times, depending on which way she sways.
Isn't that the whole house?
That's sort of the thing. That's sort of the thing.
The House of Knights. Well, I think I understand where Ty was going with the queen and king analogy in terms of the queen protects the king, and that Jed is willing to protect Beth and maybe not vice versa. But he doesn't mention the knight is difficult to read, and saying that that's Kiefer. But like, I do think his explanations make sense if you're just thinking about like a basic definition of the piece, because Tara is a straight shooter in how she speaks, but maybe not so much in how she actually moves. So I didn't think, I mean, let's be real. I'm not a chess pro. I mean, I was in the chess club in elementary school.
Really?
Okay, well,
In
that's
elementary school, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I own a chessboard now, and that's about where it stops. But I don't think that they were terrible placements, but I can see what Taran's saying there. Yeah, Jed is pretty straightforward as well.
Terrible.
So I can see him as the rook.
Yeah. We found out tonight that Taran, Ty is playing chestnut checkers.
Yes. Yes.
no.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a mistake that I think the whole house is making. The whole house thinks that Jed is the queen. And he really is not. He is much less threatening than they imagine.
Okay. Beth's plan. She wants to go to Tara and say that Kiefer and Brayden should go up on the block, and she needs to pitch it as they're gonna backdoor Jed this week. But the key part of this thing is that Ty has to be willing to go up on the block. Do I have that right?
Yes, I mean, like the plan is that basically that let's backdoor Jed. So let's trick him. Let's put up like Ty and Brayden or Kiefer and Brayden. She's gonna try and get Brayden to volunteer for the block. She explains this plan to Ty, who does not like it. Ty is like, well, why? Hold on, why do I need to go on the block, Beth?
Why don't you go on the block, Beth?
Ooh.
Spicy tea.
Yeah, you know, it's I think he's thinking back to
Do you want me to put Beth up?
Why don't you go on the block, Beth?
Do you want me to put Beth up?
Oh, we couldn't we?
Really got a whole story there.
right?
Yeah. So Ty is not down with this plan, and nor should he be.
No, he definitely shouldn't be. This doesn't benefit him whatsoever. Got to protect your own. And can I just use this moment to PSA? I know we've all talked ad nauseum about it. It bugs me too much. I would like to take this opportunity and just really kind of talk about it, if I may. And what I want to say is,
there is no backdoor at this point in the game. Stop saying backdoor.
Hey.
The term is extinct. Stop it.
Kiefer has your back on this one. Kiefer even said it later on the episode.
I tweeted this. Kiefer is one of the worst offenders of like using the term backdoor incorrectly. So they're being generous with throwing this in the episode.
See, I'm still of the opinion, like I don't care if backdoor people. The term backdoor has been redefined by its use, and its use is that the point is that you put two people on the block that aren't your target, and with the intention of putting a different person on the block as a backdoor. As far as I'm concerned, like, that's fine. We're good.
I mean, to be fair to Taran, in the midst of the chaos that is this season, this is the least of our worries. But when I get an opportunity to rage about it, I'll do it. It's fine.
Well, and also just like the hypocrisy of like Kiefer being like, also, it's not a backdoor when he's like talking about wanting to backdoor Beth at Final Five, when like that also is like even worse. So it's just like, okay, Kiefer, come on.
What about Brayden says it's not a backdoor, it's a screen door? Taran, is that any better?
Look, as soon as screen door starts being the actual use case for when we talk about this sort of thing, I think we just have to accept backdoor here.
Now, screen door is another door, Pooya, but does that make any more or less sense than backdoor?
I mean, is a screen door more of a back door that's transparent because you can see it happening because there's a little bit of vision there? Like, is that like
there's a window in the back door?
Yeah, there's a window in the back door.
Yeah,
you see it, but you still have to open it to like have the entry.
Yeah, and then
Don't want to walk into it.
if it's a back door that you can see from a mile away, it's a beaded door because you can just see everything through. Like it
The
just
curtain,
works fine.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the point is that like, oh, I'm not on the block, but you realize I can see through this door. I know that I'm your target.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Then what's a doggy door?
That's where they get the Wendy's from. The dog.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna see now Kiefer that he can tell. All right, Beth is shot out of a cannon today. He says Beth is on fire. He warns Brayden about, look, don't fall for any of Beth's plans, Jenny. So Brayden now is in the loop. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, really? This is interesting." And so Beth comes along and takes Brayden to chat. And I like we didn't get to see enough Brayden in this episode, but what we did see, I really enjoyed. Like his acting job with Beth was like so incredible. Like he's just like, okay, like he's really just like feigning enthusiasm of like, oh my god, we're going to backdoor Jed. Yes, love this for us. And then like cut to the diary room of like, you're delusional, mama. Like this is so I really enjoyed that energy from Bray. But yeah, I did enjoy that Kiefer gave the heads up so that Brayden knew what was coming and how to handle that. So we were able to get that kind of reaction.
Okay. But from Beth's perspective, everything is going according to plan. Now, Pooya, it's time to go tell Tara what's going on.
Yeah. And listen, this has happened before. This continues to happen. There's nothing funnier to a viewer than Beth's delusions taking over, Beth believing what she's doing is right, Beth getting high on her own supply, but only for us to know really what's going to happen. And it's kind of a train wreck you can't stop looking at. So you let Beth do her thing, you follow, and you laugh. That's how you have to do it with Beth.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I was wanting earlier in the season, them to be able to like actually just go in on a player when they're doing poorly, because it makes for such better TV than when you try. Like, could you imagine if they were trying to protect Beth throughout all of this? Like, it would have been so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Tara, I like that Beth ended her conversation with Tara like, this is so weird. I trust you weirdly more than anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
What a great way to establish a bond. It's like, I really, it's weird that
weirdly,
I like you.
for whatever reason, I really trust you.
Yeah.
So weird.
Just happenstance, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Kiefer feels like they're flailing. He says Beth is doing way too much. That she's he sees right through the screen door, and that he knows that Beth is trying to save Ty. And Tara says under no circumstances is she putting Brayden up as a pawn. She's not going to do it.
Obviously not. And obviously, like, Brayden would never volunteer. It's such a dumb idea. It's such a dumb
Get
concept.
out of here, Beth.
It's messed up that they would even suggest that, because it's so out of the range of possibilities. Like, there are 3 people in an alliance that you are clearly trying to get one of them out. And so you obviously put 2 of them up on the block, and then if one of them wins the veto, they take themselves down, and then you put the 3rd one up. Why would Brayden go on the block? So it's asinine that they're even trying to pitch this to Tara.
Yeah,
because why would she ever do this? Right?
All right. Let's talk Wendy's. All right. Here we go. And look at Tara. Is this back-to-back Wendy's weeks for Tara?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Can't be stopped.
Yeah.
Wasn't she complaining last week because she had already eaten before she got the invite, so she wasn't able to fully enjoy it? Yeah.
This time she knew.
She had a tip off.
But didn't she order the same exact thing as last time?
Well, here's the thing. I don't understand. Like, they only name one thing that they're getting, and then they bring up like 8 bags.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, she mentioned the junior bacon cheeseburger, the JBC, a classic. That is a small ass cheeseburger. These bags, she had like 4 bags. Like, what else was in there?
Mhm.
Was it just filled with fries?
Well, hold on. So, do you think that the bags are props of sort of like when you get Wendy's, if you ordered something small, they wouldn't just they don't want to make it look puny. It's like, oh, go to Wendy's and you come out with like sacks of food.
If I'm truly only getting a small thing, from a fast food restaurant, I don't want to feel like I'm eating more than I'm actually eating. Like the guilt is already there. Don't make me feel like I'm doing something worse. I want it to be a tiny little bag and be like, this is your little snack. I don't need 7 bags.
No, they're giving you a lot for your money. Taran, are there props in the bag, do you think?
Maybe could just like prop burgers and prop fries. I'm just like imagining them coming up with a single little baggie of Wendy's, like, here it is, especially like Ty bringing it up. It would be like the size of his hand. Like it would be like you gotta stack them up here.
Here's the tiny Frosty in my little hand.
Yeah. They come up with a lot of food. For Ty, Baconator. What do you think?
Boom.
That's
It's
my
good.
guy.
What's up?
That's the correct pick. I've
had the son of Baconator.
Yes.
And it also hits. It's like when you're like not ready to go full Baconator, but you still like you want a little taste of it.
Yeah.
You want to go a little younger.
No, unfortunately enough for me, whether I wanted it or didn't need it, all that, it was always Baconator. I never went for the son. It was always full grown Baconator.
Yeah, we got to go for the grandfather of Baconator. We go as big as it goes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The grandfather of Baconator. Wow.
Yeah.
Would that be a hot selling item, do you think?
I hope so. I mean, look, again, I'm a great ideas guy. Wendy's, if you need me.
Well, I don't think that they can do that because I don't know if this is the same in the United States, but in Canada at A&W, they have branded the full family of burgers. There's the teen burger, there's the mama burger, the papa burger, the grandpa burger. So I don't know, maybe. Yeah, so I think
I literally just came up with that idea and they already stole it.
A&W did it first.
Grandpa burger is the biggest burger.
I mean, I haven't been there in a minute now.
It's a double, maybe like it's like a more premium patty, I think.
It's actually really dumb that it's the biggest one. I thought I was coming up with an intentionally dumb idea.
Maybe it's like the most aged beef or something. You know?
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
That's a good idea. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it after this.
If it's just a triple burger.
Third in the
grandpa Baconator.
Like,
and for some reason the mama doesn't have cheese on it. Like I would really love to have an interview with the A&W people. Like, why this burger is this name? Like, what is this characteristic?
I mean, let me put this one out there for the Canadians in the audience. I hate the A&W spokesperson guy in the commercials. He really irks me. I do not like that man because he's always like his interviews are clearly fake. He's like, oh, would you say that you recommend this burger to other people? No, I don't. I don't recommend it to other people. Stop it, sir. I don't like you.
I love where this has gone.
I just don't like him. Don't like him. This is very niche, but I'm fired up because I've been harboring this feeling for years.
Is it
if this man is on Cameo, I'm getting you a cameo from this guy.
Pooya does not want to be asked about his burgers.
I'll talk with Wendy. I'm not talking with A&W, man.
Well, Wendy is like a fictional person, so
this is based on a real person, right?
Well, I think she's fictional now, right?
I think
she became fictional.
Because they used like the ones they use in the commercials, I think is fictional. It's like they just like choose like a random. There was like a string of Wendy's commercials that made me so angry. I used to tweet about them, and they just had like some random like redhead actress like who was like she was Wendy, and it was just like
Wendy was the daughter of the founder, right?
Dave Thomas.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
Wendy Thomas Morse.
Okay. The chat still with us?
This is what they
Never
came
left.
for, Rob.
Yeah. All right. Ty is get to look at Tara and Ty have been Wendy's, and so a lot of talk in this episode of is it better to be with a bromance or a showmance? Tara, what's more dangerous, a bromance or a showmance?
It really depends. Like, is it what would you rather compete against, or what would you rather be in? Because I think that if you're asking what would you rather be in, then
In general or in the Big Brother house?
Well, in the Big Brother house, if you think about it, bromances, they might be a little bit more successful than showmances, but showmances are also pretty successful. They're both pretty good. I mean, you've got Chilltown, you've got Renegades, you've got Hitmen, you've got Pax Bros. Then you've got like Rachel Riley.
Is the Pax Bros a bromance?
Absolute bromance. Absolute bromance. Then you've got Rachel Riley. You've got Jackson. You've got the Big Brother 5 dude.
Demetrius?
No, the Big Brother US 5 dude with Diane. That guy, Drew. So I actually think, if you think about it, I think showmances might have a leg up on the bromances here.
Drew had bromances and showmances.
Yeah, that's the key, is having the bromance and the showman. So Jed is really doing it right. And Ty almost was doing it right. And just fumbled the ball, I guess.
Yeah. You got Jordan. Yeah, there's a lot of showmance winners. I think slightly more than bromance. Yeah.
Okay. So Ty says basically that look, he is not going to be able to beat Jed at the end. So he seemed like that he was okay with potentially Jed going out. We see Ty with Brayden and Kiefer, and Ty is saying how Beth is trying to throw them under the bus.
Yeah, it's how many sunsetters?
Yeah.
How many sunsetters can fit under a bus?
So violent.
Did we skip over when Kiefer was explaining the name sunsetters to Brayden and to Tara? Was that earlier in the episode?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They asked Kiefer, like, so do you think that the three of them, do they have a name? He's like, no, definitely not. There's no name for them. It's just the four. The other three do not have a name.
Yeah. So it was always the sunsetters. And hey, I'm still a sunsetter.
Yeah.
I'm still in there.
Yeah, they were making fun of the sunsetters, and then he gets pissed.
Dare you, I'm still a sunsetter.
Yeah. Knock it off. That's still my alliance.
Yeah. It's like,
if it's convenient to me next week, that is definitely still my alliance.
So basically, it's become a running gag for the players to make fun of the Oddballs name, because they were like, "Oh, the Oddballs, what a terrible name! Oddballs, eh?" Has been the thing. So Tara goes, "Oh, Sunsetters, eh?" And Kiefer's like, "Hey, wait a minute, I made that one." That was
I also love that Kiefer was trying to say that him and Tara and Brayden are the most. I think he said the most unlikely trio in Big Brother history or something. I was like, you literally were in alliances together. You were in an alliance with Tara and Tina, and Brayden was in an alliance with Tara. That's not that unlikely. It's that final six. It's not that unlikely.
Yeah.
Everything is the most something.
Yeah.
He's a very hyperbolic human.
Yeah. More than Colin Stone. So that's saying something.
Shots fired.
Pooya, don't go that far. don't over exaggerate the over exaggeration.
All right. So we're gonna then see Tara is finally gonna come to the conclusion. All right, Beth, you're gonna go on the block. And Beth is beside herself. Kiefer was sending you home this week. Brayden, that he's gonna put you up. We had a thing. You swore to me on your kids. How could you? I'm sketched out. I threw you the POV. The guy, people are just telling you what you want to hear. Just pissed.
Not great.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I love this outrage of like, oh wow, me, but I put in so much work, but I am secretly doing all this really well. How could you have even seen through this? Surely other people put you up to this, because I did too good of a job to end up in this position.
It's just so brutal that you trust other people more than me. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Jenny, we're gonna see her then go talk to Jed and basically say, Ty must have blown it. I don't know what Ty said to her, but he blew it.
He clearly didn't do his part, which was to be the fall guy for our alliance here and take one for the team and go up on the block. And apparently he didn't just walk up to Tara and say, yeah, that sounds great. Me and Brayden on the block, that sounds spectacular. So this is all Ty's fault. Definitely nothing that Beth did.
All Kiefer's fault. But
yeah, everyone else's fault.
Pooya, all hope is not lost though, because that Beth did talk to Tara, so she just put in some work, and so maybe Brayden is still going to go up on the block. Ty is asking her what is she talking about?
Beth, she doesn't want to put Brayden up.
She literally might now, because I was so convincing.
Do you believe that?
She literally might now, because
Yeah.
she was so convincing.
See,
Queen of convincing.
So earlier in this very podcast, I talked about how I love when someone is so delusional and then they go about doing their own thing and we get to laugh at them. What is the most terrifying thing ultimately in any scenario watching these shows is if the most delusional does get their way, does get to the end, does win, and then is like, I was the greatest, I said it all along. That's what you don't want, right? So there is a diminishing returns with this, and the further you get into a game like this, the more worrisome it could be. In this very moment, looking at this, I'm like, Beth, no, you're being a clown. Stop it. It's not good. So keep clowning. Stay.
Okay. I can't wait for that Beth deep dive with Taran where it all works out. So we got 2 hours of, I did this and I did that and everything worked out perfectly because I won the game. So just on you guys.
Final 6, Tara wins the HOH, and you had a master plan, Beth. Tell me about it.
Let me tell you about it.
Yeah. We'll hear about how it all worked out. So the funniest part of that, I thought, Taran, was after then she's talking to the guys in the kitchen. Then Brayden walks in. She's like, hey! Like really went right into. Yeah. Very fake Beth mode.
Beth is very like, it was very much like Vic, where like she just has a very obvious fake personality when she's
because her voice shoots up like 100 decibels. She says, hey, like you're like that's a red flag.
Yeah. And she calls people honey when she's trying to like sweeten them up, and then she calls them dude when she's trying to threaten them.
Dude.
Yeah. Come on, dude, you know better than that. Tara.
That is intimidating. Yeah. Okay. So basically Kiefer goes up to Tara, and they're basically going to lock this thing in. And we're going to see finally Tara's nominations. It's going to be Jed. It's going to be Beth. When you were in power, you put my game in jeopardy. And now I wish you the best of luck in the veto. So there you go, Pooya. Jed and Beth are on the block together. First time we're seeing these members of the trio, 2 of them hitting the block.
2 of them on the block, the showmantic part of the triangle on the block. It's not looking good. Not looking good for the sauce. Not looking good for them at all. Which, by the way, Rob, have we gotten your official take on the names of the sauce? What have your thoughts been on it? Can I get your confirmation here?
I think it's fine. I don't really love the word the sauce.
Oh, you don't like the word sauce? Like, does it make you uncomfortable type of thing?
I love
a little
sauce.
bit. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
You need to watch my tier list with Pooya. I'm very passionate about sauces.
It's all about the sauces, Jenny.
What if you think about it like it's short for isosceles instead of thinking about it as sauce?
It's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't Listen, there are
Rob's
a lot of
indifferent.
really bad
Yeah.
alliance names out there, and there have been alliances I've liked more where I hate their name. This is not my favorite alliance in Big Brother history, but it's not a terrible name, especially with the story of where it came from.
Yeah, you know,
I
and I
mean-
feel like I was less grossed out by the triangle than the thought of the sauce that's produced by the triangle.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the association with the relationship and the dynamic is like maybe not the best,
But no one said production of sauce until now. Like that wasn't part of the conversation.
we're the production of sauce. We're all
Mhm.
producing sauce together.
You're about to get lost in our sauce, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we all know where it was going. I think we all knew that. You know, I think Rob just kind of spoke it into existence. I don't think he needed to, but
manifested it, yeah.
Mhm.
That's all I'm
Okay.
thinking of now.
I did
all right.
like in Tara's speech. She made a point of saying, you know, go and fight for yourself in that veto.
Fight for
Mhm.
yourself. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very poignant.
All right. Let's bring in a couple questions. Then we talk some more about this wacky live feeds. Okay. Scott has found us, I guess, the chart of A&W. What do we have here? This is the whole family.
Yeah, the grandpa does have 3 patties. Again,
Yo,
where's
the family
cheese?
portrait.
Grandpa's lacking in the
Grandpa
innards.
looks dry.
Yeah, where are the veggies at? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, grandpa needs
What
the
happened
sauce.
to grandma? The sad
Oh
story?
no.
yeah, where's grandma?
Why is the teen so lacking in substance here?
Mm.
Is that a dig on the teen?
The teen is still figuring out his identity, so he's like experimenting with toppings. He's like got the
Yeah.
bacon, lettuce, the tomato, trying to figure out what he really wants to do. He's going
Now,
all over the place.
Are we sure that this is like a family and not like what you're supposed to order at each stage of your life?
Hmm.
Because that is probably a lot of saturated fat for grandpa.
Yeah, that's-
Grandpa can't order the grandpa. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
just not
grandpa-
happening.
Like, you know, if you have a
I mean,
good
that's just
spot in the
cruel.
will, grandpa.
I'm also just
for you.
picturing like if grandpa's got dentures and he's trying to like wrap his like mouth around that thick 3 patty grandpa burger. I'm concerned.
I'm
And maybe
sad.
this explains what happened to grandma.
Yeah, I'm just sad for all of the grandpas who go to A&W with their families and go to order a burger and they have to be like, yeah, can I get the teen, please? Grandpa, why aren't you having the grandpa? I just can't. I can't. I gotta get the teen. You're not a teen.
Off
It's- I
to.
know.
He's a hip
Yeah.
grandpa. He needs
Mhm.
a little bacon
Yeah.
in his life.
Yeah, trying to act young, order the teen. All right, and then do we have a question? Okay. Oh, okay. This whole thing.
Here we go. This whole
this
thing.
is,
It's like 5 days old.
Let's see. Is this anything new, or we're just looking at this tonight? Best BB Cat and I meme. Vic in the ball pit or this from Robot Taran.
This.
It's this.
1000%.
It's this.
I mean,
So
to be
what's
fair,
the backstory of that? That was you watching the episode, and then they recorded your reaction.
that was me watching the episode. I during every episode, I'm live on Twitch, watching it live so that I can react to it. You know, I was very excited about a power shift, and then Arissa said fake double eviction, and I had flashbacks, and you know, my brain went through some dark times, and it was
You can tell.
not great.
All right. Then I think that Scott said that's all we had for stuff that wasn't spoilers. All right. There you go. All right. So anything else about the episode proper?
We're good.
No. Okay, good. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about from the week of live feeds. Before we get into that, let me take 30 seconds to thank our friends over at Geico. Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it could be hard work, but you know it's easy. Bundling your policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. And it's a good thing, too, because you have already so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. Let's talk some live feed spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
A spoiler.
warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
Spoiler.
against this country has been detected, and that protective action should be taken.
Yes. I got out my Pauly Calafiore figure because if we're going to A&W,
Bread for this.
that's the wrong one.
There is bread.
Kiefer
Yes.
actually said that line. There, he said that Jed was bred for this.
hmm Yeah. I think it was this one.
This is a damn good steak. This thing is cooked to perfection, and I'm all about it because these biceps ain't gonna feed themselves. So your boy needs his meat.
Well,
The
may
boy
I
needs his
suggest
meat.
the Grandpa Burger, Polly?
Mm.
3 patties. I don't know if
Have
it's
you
steak.
tried Grandpa?
You can't just call it Grandpa.
I regret having wireless headphones because I heard all of that while being AFK. That was rough. Have you
May I
tried Grandpa?
Just Grandpa.
All right. All right.
You missed the gesture, though, Pooya. The gesture made
It
it.
was all of it.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
All right, Taran. For people who just watched the episode, we're just catching up on the week that was. What happens next after we get these nominations?
Everything.
Everything you could possibly imagine and
This
more.
week was a true Grandpa burger.
Layers
Truly.
of beef.
Truly.
It's missing a little sauce, but
Wendy's
So-
is irate of they pay all this money to be on Big Brother, and now we've spent the whole night talking about A&W.
Look, when,
that's what they
when
get
you
for
miss-
the fake double eviction.
Exactly, and they
Fake double cheeseburger.
It's you missed an opportunity not naming your having a Grandpa Baconator.
Yeah.
That's what you get. So they're gonna play in the veto, and Jed wins the power of veto. Jed manages to escape the nomination here by winning the veto. Jed will not have to compete in the battle back here, as he is now safe with the power of veto. At the veto ceremony,
Yeah.
Jed uses the power of veto
Naturally.
on
course.
Beth.
So, wait, what? So, okay.
The queen
Yes. No. So, all right, so-
protecting the
yeah,
king.
Can you understand that his reasoning? Why use the power veto on Beth and not to
So-
save himself?
Kiefer came up with a plan.
Yep.
The plan was, let's convince Jed to use the veto on Beth. We will tell him that if he does so, Brayden will go on the block. And then obviously Beth and Ty will be able to vote to keep Jed and evict Brayden. So in Jed's mind, this is great. All I need to do is use the veto on Beth, and then Brayden will go up on the block. Why does it need to be Beth that comes down and not him? It's a show of good faith. It's he's willing to play ball. It's a little Eric Reichenbach. It's a little bit like, hey, show us, give us a favor, we'll return the favor. So Tara tells Jed, obviously, hey, if you use the veto on Beth, then I will put up Brayden. Now, obviously, unbeknownst to Jed, Jed is still the actual target. So Brayden is, as she said multiple times, not going to touch the block. And so Jed is falling into this trap. So when Jed uses the veto on Beth, Tara then stands up and says, my replacement nominee is Brayden.
Mhm.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Beth's plan worked to perfection.
Mastermind Beth.
Oh, my sweet, merciful God.
There can only be one bad bitch.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about bad at the game, I don't know.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So where do we go from here on Thursday? Ty is really going to vote against Jed here. He is the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, he might not be, to be honest. So ultimately, Tara nominates Brayden because she feels like she does not want the heat from Jed all week long. She'd rather blindside Jed at the end of the week. But obviously, this opens up the risk of Ty and Beth voting to keep Jed and evict Brayden, which would be such a disaster on Tara's HOH. But at the moment, it does seem like Ty is leaning toward evicting Jed, and Beth may end up leaning in that direction as well, as far as we know. But the thing is, Rob, you never know.
Yeah,
like,
Big Brother Canada 9. Remember that Kiefer was dead in the water last Monday night.
Yeah, they had a whole talk with Kiefer. They cried about it and then changed their minds. So
yeah,
anything can happen.
The very fact that like we ended up with, you know, Jed and Beth on the block, Jed wins the veto, and the very fact that Jed uses the veto on Beth, and then Tara, instead of throwing up Ty next to Beth, chooses to put up Brayden. Like, the fact that we're even at this stage, I will rule out nothing at this point.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
and here's the caveat of all this. We're going into a fake double on Thursday.
Yeah.
So
it's all nothing.
Exactly.
I don't know what's better, really, if Jed stays or he gets voted out and then comes back in and it's like, hey, you a-holes, you voted me out.
That'll be really cute, honestly.
Yeah, Jed did say to them at one point, like, imagine I do this and you guys vote me out.
Wow.
I would riot.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. Oh yeah, that would be bad.
Well, they would definitely not do a buyback at the final 6. That's crazy. Why would they do that? No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Why would we?
Pooya, would it be funnier if both only Ty votes against Jed and he comes back in, or if Ty and Beth both vote against Jed?
What would be funny is if they convince themselves independently that, oh, I can vote Jed out and then claim the one vote later as like I didn't do it to like try and do something, and it's a 3-0 because they all thought they were big braining it. That would be ideal funny to me. And then on the other side, if a 2-1 happens with Brayden leaving, that would be fun for me as well. This is not so Washington. This whole episode, this whole season, this whole week. This week is, like Taran's called it, the worst strategic week we've ever seen in a long time, Taran.
Big Brother history.
History of the show.
He says.
North America,
been a worse
right?
week of
North
strategy.
America.
Yeah.
North American Big Brother.
Boom. Wow. What a time to be alive to cover the show.
But
Wild.
Yeah.
what a season. What a season.
This is why we're a part of this.
Yeah. Could this be the best Big Brother Canada season?
Depends on what you're looking for. I love it.
It has a case.
Yeah.
This is the grandpa burger of Big Brother Canada seasons.
Yeah.
There is unpredictability.
Just layers and layers and layers and layers.
I mean,
So
the hardest
Very
thing for any Big Brother season to do is to, not get boring. I mean, I think it helps that these are, these Big Brother Canada seasons are 70 days. But I mean, so many times it's just like, Taran knows better than anybody. It's like, all right, it's day 14. The die is cast here for this 97-day season.
And that's honestly like the thing that I've had to learn over the course of the season is that normally I can make predictions and then those things will happen. This season, because people do things, right? Like they make decisions and then they stick to them. This season, people make decisions and then don't stick to them, and then they make other decisions and they don't stick to those. And so this season, I've had to learn, don't try to predict what's going to happen. Just let it happen.
Just be along for the ride. Just enjoy it.
I mean, it's the polar opposite of what we got last season, where Taran and I would get on Friday to talk about the live feeds, and we pretty much said, okay, so these two are going to go on the block. If this person wins veto, this happens. Boom. All right, everyone, see you next Friday. And like it kind of ended up being a good hit percentage.
Spell out the next 2 weeks.
Right. Right. And then here, like, you're in a position where literally just throw a dart on the wall and you might hit something that you wouldn't have expected, and it happens. It's absolutely wild. And again, it's phenomenal. When we say best, let's preface this by the winner of this season isn't going to be a great winner. But I'll be damned if they weren't on one of the more entertaining seasons we've seen in a long time. So that's a crown in and of itself.
Yeah, how dare you?
The Mullet Man stepped out of the grave.
Good old mullet. That's our best hope for the better winner would be the mullet man. Imagine.
Here, I got this.
Are we gonna see?
I can't believe this. The Grim Reaper, baby. Let's go.
Are we gonna
Let's
see
go.
Mullet Man t-shirts postseason, or is he like what's making more mileage? The Grim Kiefer, even though he doesn't even say it that way half the time, or is he gonna see this episode and be like, you know what, the Mullet Man, that's got some
Has he ever
alliteration.
referred to himself as the mullet man?
I don't think
No.
so.
And
He does
he's
talk
not-
about his
he's-
mullet, but he
he's
doesn't
not
call himself that.
Yeah, he's not particularly pleased with his hair at the moment, actually. But
I mean,
you know
he
what?
did go in with the makings of like what
He should have known better.
yeah. They're not getting haircuts in there unless
I'm
it's,
imagining I'm imagining like a t-shirt silhouetted, Kiefer's face, mullet man
like, okay.
Yeah,
steps out
it's not
of the
bad.
grave.
It's a good t-shirt. Yeah. Do we have a strong feeling about who might be the most likely person to go out in the second part of the fake double eviction?
Give it like a die we can roll.
Oh, where's the magic 8-ball, Rob? We could
Yeah, you got that handy.
give that a rip.
Well, I gotta ask a
Okay.
yes/no question.
Okay, so it's like, is it gonna? Okay, so Beth has been saying it's gonna be Tara. She makes this move. She's going out next week.
Is Tara going out in the
Tara
part two?
going to be going out in the second part of the double eviction? Oh, that poor
Okay.
thing.
I think they got a signs point to yes.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Well,
We'll
it's
see.
said.
You heard it here first.
Tara versus Jed.
Yeah,
It
that'll
all
be
comes down to
exciting.
this.
That'll be exciting. Where it's like you lied to me. You sent me out of the house. Like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, Jed walks back into the house, and Ty and Beth are like, "Oh, but see, we just sent Tara out to avenge you."
Mhm. Psych.
Definitely, we're avenging you. We definitely didn't vote you out.
Avenging you. Luckily,
For our
I mean, look,
votes.
we're not gonna target ourselves to avenge you, right? So,
Mhm. All right, let's see. We got a question also. Let's see what Heather has to say. Did Kiefer do this crazy plan? Jed taking himself out despite winning the veto as vengeance for the trio attempting to try to backdoor him last week? Or was this truly a plan for the four crew to band together and get out Jed because he's a threat? Did Kiefer have vengeance on his mind?
I think Kiefer saw something in front of him. He was like, "Could I do this?"
Oh, we could, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Throughout the week, he went back and forth between, should we get Beth out? Should we get Jed out? Maybe we should get Ty out. Nah, let's get Jed out. He's the bigger threat. But what about Beth? She's doing way too much. And when Jed won the veto, it was like, oh, we can't get Jed out anymore. I guess we're getting out Beth. But wait, what if we could get out Jed? What if we do this? And then he did it and it worked. And it's like, I guess we're doing this now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Beth would have been so much better.
Yeah. Jenny, it's too bad that Arissa has to be socially distanced from Jed, that she won't be able to hit him in the card famously like Julie Chen did to Marcellus. Maybe she can get the card on like a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
They'll
what
have
about
that.
whack him with
well,
it.
what
for
about those
sure.
like little hand clampy things on a stick?
Yeah.
And she it's clamping the note card, and she can still make that happen. I believe
Mhm.
We should just throw the cards at him.
Throw a grandpa burger at him. What are you thinking?
I think you put a bucket of cards on the ledge of the door, and then
That's
as
great.
he walks out, boom,
Crank
bucket
him.
on the head.
Right.
Yeah.
We may get some more audio leaks of it. So embarrassing.
that. So embarrassing.
All right. Pooya, anything else Big Brother Canada tonight?
Not that I know of / want to talk about. Again, this is a very weird spot for me this week, where this is the most insecure I've felt about what's going to happen, and this is probably the week I've been most paying attention as well. So it's just a duality and me doubting everything that's happening because This is not the BB Can house, Rob. This is the Waffle House. They jump around these scenarios too damn much to the point where Kiefer can literally wake up and be like, which one would I want to do? I'm going to do this move today. Why not? Just to see if I can. And then it works. And then it's like, okay, well, that's a thing that happened. Cool. All right. And then everyone else like, well, clearly this is my bro. And Beth's like, this is my showmance, but maybe I'll vote him out. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Has it been discussed much this week, Taran, if the trio would have gone through with taking out Kiefer last week, Tina was still in the house, what would this week have looked like?
It's impossible to know for sure, but likely Beth's plan would have gone through to some degree, in the sense that at least, it wouldn't have gone through, but she wouldn't have been nominated. It would have been Ty and Jed on the block, and then Jed would have won the veto. He would have used it on himself, and then Ty or Beth would have gone home. I'm inclined to say Beth still might have gone home, but Tara really, or you know what? Beth might not have even been the replacement. Who would have been in the house? Tina would have been there.
I mean, Braden's the only other person. Tara's not going to put Tina on the block.
I mean, we got there this week, so
yeah, Beth would have gone up. But so hold on.
But
that means
Kiefer was working on it.
Ty leaves this week.
Okay, so for Ty, it was a good move to keep Kiefer in the house.
Ooh,
there you go.
I have a question. How do we think the editor, because the editors have a job on their hands this week, who's going to get the credit for all this going down on Wednesday? Do we have predictions here? Do you think Kiefer with a bullet like Dunzo?
Kiefer, but also I think, Chess Master Ty. I think they're setting up to get a little bit of this.
I do feel like they set that up a little bit tonight, showing Kiefer telling everyone what's happening before the conversations were happening, and then we got lots of diagrams from Ty finally.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's going to go to Kiefer. They had a wall yeller, actually, the other day, and the wall yeller said, "We love you, Kiefer!" And so Kiefer seems to be the go-to guy here. He has the biggest storyline so far, so I think giving it to Kiefer makes sense.
That's real? They really had a wall yeller?
Yeah, they did.
Are we sure that wasn't just like an echo in the studio from like Kiefer talking to himself in like a bedroom or something?
Somebody closed the screen door. Yeah.
One thing, they put out they obviously did the who's gonna skip the slot pass, skip the dishes. Ty's winning 84%. It's not even close.
Yes.
The poll from tonight. So Ty's gonna end up getting off of slop as well.
Can I comment on the wall yelling in Canada is very positive.
So
we
nice.
love you, Keith. Whereas like in BBUS, it's like, you're the worst and you're screwing over this person. Go to hell. Like
well, in Big Brother 22, it was what, like Cody and Nicole are playing everyone. What could they have said in this season? Like,
you're playing yourselves.
We don't
trying to play
on.
Everyone.
You're all stupid.
Confused. I want a grandpa burger. I don't know.
All
anything would
Yeah, it's a house of no secrets. Okay. Let's talk about what's coming up here on Rob has a podcast and reality TV wrap-ups. It looks like that should be a wild stock watch this Tuesday night when Melissa is back, and here comes Jacob Jones. Taran, the Big Brother stock market crashed yet this season?
Rob, here's a fun fact for you. Every season, there are a few people that, they sign up at the beginning of the season and then they kind of forget about it. Their accounts just kind of sit there, and their money just sits there and it accumulates. You get $20 every week. This season, those people are in the top 10% of everyone playing in the stock watch.
Yeah.
Wild.
Don't touch the button. There you go. So that's coming up on Tuesday night. Of course, this week, The Circle has been back. And on Saturday, Taran and Pooya, myself, along with Haley Strong and Genevieve Guadalupe, joined us to recap week 1 of The Circle. Jenny, have you been keeping up with The Circle?
Yes, I am loving it.
Yes.
I binged all 4 episodes. I think like Wednesday, Thursday, or
Mhm.
Thursday, Friday of this past week, and I am enjoying it so much. I loved season 1 of the US one, but this is so much better so far, and I've so many thoughts. I have been tweeting mostly just about how bothered I am by seeing the toilet seat up all the time in their apartments. Really
I
bugs me.
didn't even notice the toilet
Yeah,
seat.
come to my Twitter for the hard-hitting
Yeah.
circle analysis. Complaints about toilets.
Okay. Check that out. And then Taran will be back with another week of Circle coverage starting on Wednesday, episodes 5, 6, and 7. Taran will have the recaps, and then we'll all be back together for a week 2 roundtable coming up on Saturday. All right. Be on the lookout for that. And then last Wednesday, I got to talk about Survivor Gabon with Maggie Morgan. Great on the update today. And Phil Thompson. That was this past Wednesday. And then this week, we are getting ready to talk about Survivor Samoa. That's right. Pooya, Mel Hulst, and I will be talking about everything that went on in Survivor Samoa. So we'll be able to tell you after Wednesday night, who's the better villain? Is it Beth or Russell Hantz?
It's going to be
Find
hard
out.
competition. Yeah, we'll see.
Find
We'll
out.
answer that question.
Of course, Pooya and I were together earlier in the day today where we discussed the final part of the 90-Day Fiancé finale. Everything that went on with Andrew and Mira, Tariq and Hazel. We got some shocking revelations about Mike and Natalie. All that on the 90-Day Fiancé finale, part 2.
That's right. Second part. It's over now.
And then on the reality TV RHAP Rewind, talk about Nanny 911 with Chappelle and Kelsey Rosmondi. Jenny, ever watch Nanny 911?
That is not one I have ever caught. No, I mean, I'm not a kid person, so that's probably a reason why that wouldn't be a go-to for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You really won't be a kid person after you watch Nanny 911. Very fun this week on the RHAP Rewind. Of course, got so much going on here in the month of April for our patrons of Rob's podcast, our patron podcast feed, weekly patron activities, and more. And then coming up next Tuesday night, it is our monthly new patron orientation night. I will be live on Tuesday, the 27th, to welcome in all of our new April 2021 patrons. Talk about if you have any questions or if you just want to come in and say hi. That's going to be next Tuesday night. If you want to come on in, robswebsite.com/patron. And of course, subscribe to our channel if you're watching us here on YouTube. Of course, get this podcast wherever you listen to fine podcasts. And of course, you can follow us on social media at RHAP Grams on Instagram or Rob's Podcast on Twitter. All right. Thanks so much, Scott, behind the scenes. All right. Pooya, what's coming up for you?
Aside from the things we've already mentioned, Masked Singer, we're at the Super 8.
Yes.
Leon and I have been having a lot of fun talking about it and the nonsense that's been going. It's actually been a really good season, and I feel like it's the first good season we've had since maybe 3, so it's been about a year and change. Yeah, so with season 4 and the Masked Dancer, this has been better than both of those combined, so that's been a lovely time. And as always, I also do stream on Twitch on the side, twitch.tv/Pooyaism.
Okay. Jenny, how about you? What's next for you?
I don't know what is next for me. I am just waiting to see how this week pans out with Big Brother Canada, and waiting for some new Circle episodes. And besides that, I had a quiet couple weeks, but I'm gonna try and do some streams over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jenny Autumn.
What are you gonna
Phil
stream?
and I have been doing. Well, I'm not a big gamer. Let's be real.
Burger reviews.
I would happily do burger reviews. I could talk about anything, Rob. You know that. So it's more of like a chatting stream. Phil and I have been doing occasional happy hour Fridays. Where we
what do you do on Happy Hour Friday?
We have a Friday evening cocktail and talk to the chat, and sometimes we play. I forget the name of the game, but it's basically just like asking questions about who would do this, and then you have to take a drink. It's kind of like a drinking game, and just chat with the chat and have a good time. And it's a good way to kick off the weekend because, as I mentioned earlier, we're in a lockdown. We have nothing else to do. So,
we're having so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so thankful for Jerped and all of my other friends. So you guys are keeping me sane over here. So, but yeah, follow me on Twitch at Jenny Autumn, on Twitter at Jenny Autumn, everywhere at Jenny Autumn.
Okay.
For my toilet seat takes.
Okay. And then Taran, what's coming up for you?
Of course, that circle coverage coming up. Live feed update tomorrow morning. We'll continue to do the roundtable Tuesday, episode recaps Wednesday and Thursday. You can find me on Twitch. I am, as I mentioned, live during the episodes as well. If you want to see my reactions to things like fake double evictions, you can find me there, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. And yeah, it's hanging out.
Okay. Well, this was such a fun return to get Jerped back together. I feel like there needs to be a trilogy. I don't know when it will happen.
I'm down.
I mean, I don't know. Let's make it happen. I don't know what I'm gonna have FOMO like as soon as we get off of this call. Like I'm gonna miss you guys so much.
Okay. All right.
I'm not joking.
Thank you all so much for watching us here tonight. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.